Today, on Be Something Wonderful, are you still struggling to manifest a specific person? Do this. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studios of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good afternoon from the Dutch Caribbean and the island of Bonaire here. I have another big video for you today. We're going to talk about this powerful creator who manifested their specific person, but really this is a masterclass to manifest anything in your life. Not just, and it never really is about a specific person, although that's the basis of this video. We're going to talk about this and more today. This is what this person wrote to me. So Tom, thank you. She goes, as you say, just say it again. But we talk about, just say it again. Just say I am, say thank you. The state of grace, right? I'm so forever grateful. It doesn't come out of the blue, it comes out of you. It's all me, oh my God. We've talked about this idea many times, that when you focus on your desires, and specifically when we're focusing on specific people, that we want to be different, that we want to manifest a different version of events, we really get focused on them and we forget that it's all about you. Nothing comes out of the blue, it comes out of you. And she said she's been imagining, right, a scene with her specific person. This is a specific person that she said just wanted to be friends with benefits. What they've had, right, for over a year, just friends with benefits. Right? And she made the assumption, right? This is what he wants. This is what he's been reflecting back to her. She's been imagining that it's something different, that they're together, they're in a relationship. It's no longer friends with benefit, they're together, right? She goes, it seemed so real, but 3D didn't move. Well, this is her imaginal scene, right? Remember, her imaginal scene, it is real, and it is a reality. I just want to be very clear. It seems so real, but it didn't move. Well, it did move. Everything moves when you imagine, in every moment, right? But this is where she's at. She's imagining it, but she's feeling the solidity of this reality. She's looking at a past where he has never wanted to be more than friends with benefits. And she's trying to move him from a past and present where it's just friends with benefit to this imaginal future with them together as a couple, right? But I know I can imagine and assume it, and it will happen. I know it. This is what she said where she was at, right? That she was going, yeah, he's never wanted to be friends, but I know I can imagine it differently. I know I can create a different reality. And she created the imaginal scene that I know it can happen, but see this, still trying to move from a reality where he wants to be friends with benefits. You never change that reality. That's a script that plays out. There's no changing it. There's nothing to do with that. But that's what she was trying to do, move from that script where he just wanted to be friends, right? Now I really understand what you mean about daydreams and fantasies and imaginal scenes. They're all real, but unless you move, nothing moves. I love this. And this is her words, unless you move, nothing moves. Do you see it? It was almost, she compared it in her email to me to a fantasy and a daydream, that because she was so caught up in the present circumstances where he never wanted to be more than just friends. But she was positive, right? What she said. She goes, I was very confident or positive about my imaginal scene, that I could move him from this idea of wanting to be friends. But it's not, but she got it. It's not about doing anything with that reality. Love him as that friends with benefits. Love that reality. It's like the story I told about a healing, Dr. Wayne Dyer told the story about his daughter that got what she called the bumps, a skin condition. And she just gave it love. She just prayed and said to them, you know, I love you, and I know you're here, but it's time for you to go. She loved her skin condition, and then it went the next day. Love that reality. Love him as friends with benefits. Love that script. Love who you are in that script. And now move to the new script, because this script doesn't change. This script, you are friends with benefits. That goes on. Do you see the power here? I love this when she said, they're all real, whether it's a fantasy or a daydream. But unless you move, nothing moves. That's powerful. Let's go on with this. She didn't move, even though she was imagining him and her together as a couple, not just friends with benefits. The 3D physically focused experience of him, the manifested version of him, right? That's what she was focused on. So she was imagining them as a couple, but still thinking from that script, thinking of changing that script, thinking of moving him from that script, moving herself from that script, right? It appeared not to change. She says here, it appeared not to change, even though she was expecting it to appear out of the blue. So she was expecting this reality to change out of the blue, the manifested reality where they were friends with benefits to change into what she wants, but it doesn't. That script goes on. What happens is you change, you move, you become that new identity for whom and through whom that reality is real. Then you create a version of him and your world where you're a couple. It's no longer friends with benefits. You create that preferred version of him. You were expecting it, but it was from the old reality. Remember, it's always a new version of you. Therefore, your SP and your entire world. But none of it comes out of the blue, it comes out of you. So she was, remember, everything, you're always creating, you're always shifting, but she kept shifting or creating the same reality, the same type of script where they were just friends by keeping her focus there. But once she understood it, that I can just love him with that friends as benefits, love myself in that script, and then move to my chosen script. I just wasn't loving it, I was just trying to move from it, create something different from that script, right? So it's not about a new version of that guy. Just hear this, because that's what she was really focused on. Creating that new version of him, right? That would want to be a couple instead of just friends with benefits. He will always be friends with benefits in that script. That version of him will always be that. Instead, focus on you being that version for whom and through whom that reality is real. You can imagine yourself together with them. That's powerful. But imagine it from your point of view, from your new reality, from your new identity. Right? And then that version of him will be there. Love him. Love that reality. Love that version for you, for that specific experience and viewpoint. Love it for that viewpoint of you as source that you created. Just like we talked about the story of Wayne Dyer and his daughter, right? Loving her bumps and then saying, but it's time for you to go, right? It was no longer her choice. She loved it, said, I love you, but it's time for you to go, right? Remember, he's irrelevant. Really, he's irrelevant. Because you are the only one that matters in your reality. You create that version of him. So forget him in a way, right? You can imagine a scene with you and him together, but it's from your perspective, your viewpoint of reality. It's your choice. It's not about him changing his mind or him becoming a different identity. It's about you becoming a different identity, and then you create a version of him in reality in your world that matches that identity, that matches your free will, your version of you, your identity. That's powerful. So most daydreams and fantasies, remember we've talked about this, don't come true. In other words, manifest into a physically focused experience. It's not really an idea of what's true. Remember, you get to determine your truth, but the idea of fantasies or daydreams becoming, quote, true, because you don't expect, believe, and assume they will. So they stay as a potential, as a potential to experience. Remember, they're real. They're just as real as any other reality. They're all true or truth, but you get to decide what's true for you. But even in the cases where you do expect, believe, and assume they do, in other words, you expect and assume that they will manifest, they don't come or manifest out of the blue, they come out of you. That's big. So even then, when you're believing in them or assuming them, the question is, where are you and who are you? She said here, Jesus, Tom. Here I am. Wow, I get it. She was looking for that new version of them from an old version of them. Do you see it? You can't see it from there. The question is, who are you? And where are you? And she got it. Notice here, there's your all that isness, you as I am awareness. And then your I am identity, what you're declaring, here I am, I'm that. And then this new version of events gets created. Remember, the script's always changing. But she changed it from loving them in any version of them she loved, which means she created a lifeline or a horizontal linear experience of them always being together as a couple, as she embraced and appreciated that reality, that version, that script of them as friends. She created a version where they've always been a couple. See, she created that horizontal linear past, present, and future where they're a couple. And she moved to a reality, to a manifested reality where they're a couple. Right? He said to her, right, I really want, I know you, hear this. This is the cool thing about this. He said to her, I know that you're used to us just being friends, but I'd like to be more than just friends. Right? He again, it was a new him. It was a new reality from a version of her. It became his idea as she moved out. Do you see the coolness in that? That's so cool. The parallel turn of reality, the timeline, the script, the version of them as friends with benefits continues. But she doesn't live there anymore. She's using a lot of these terms from videos that she watched that we've talked about. She said, I just don't live there anymore. I can love it. I know that it's a parallel alternative experience, but I'm in the new one where I created that we've always been a couple, that we're a couple right now and that we'll always be a couple. And that's what she created. Right? Saying, it came from him. Hey, I know you didn't want it. It was in her other perception, in that alternative perception, it was him that just wanted to be friends, right? And didn't want to be a couple. In this new reality, it's him that wants to be more, that doesn't want to be a couple. This is powerful, right? She moves everything, right, by loving it, right, by loving it. And here are the steps. This is what we went back and forth on, because I really wanted to understand that I wanted her to, she has such a great understanding of this. I wanted to put it in steps for you. So this is really what I believe her process is as she told me her story. The first thing is remember. Remember the version of you, your SP, and that reality that is no longer your choice. Think of it as a memory. Right? That reality that seems so real, that non-preferred thing. I remember when. It's sort of like Neville Goddard's I remember when technique that she was doing here. She just made it a memory. It's no longer my choice. It's time for you. It's time for me to go on. And she, just like Wayne Dyer's daughter, it's time for those bumps to go. Wayne Dyer's story of his daughter with the bumps. It's time to go. Remember when Jesus would heal, he would say, go now. Your faith has made you whole. It's time for her to go in this new reality. Right? That other reality, that other script goes on. It goes on without her, without this physically focused version of her. It's another version of her, another version of them. That she's no longer physically focused in from this point of view or from this perspective. And then the next step is now imagine the new version of you with him, or your SP, or whatever else you want. It's an absolutely new reality. It's real. Right? You've blessed that other one. You let that go on. You are imagining while remembering when. So you're imagining as you're remembering when, as you see and experience appearances of the old reality and version of SP, keep loving it. So as she was seeing versions of him that appeared to be that they were just friends, she kept loving that, saying, yeah, I remember that reality. She put it as a memory, no matter what she was seeing, right? And then kept imagining them together. This is powerful. She saw those appearances of the old reality as I remember when. It's just a memory that she's having. And then move in your new version no matter what. Right? Make it all about you no matter what's appearing. And that's what she did. And that's why he had to want to be more than just friends with her. That's who she is now. This is powerful, but not only for manifesting a specific person, for manifesting anything you want. Bless that reality that's no longer your choice, that version of you that was perceiving that reality, and the versions of others that you created within that world. Bless that world, and then remember remember it as a memory now. It's just a memory. It's no longer who you are. It's no longer, you've moved, right? You no longer live there anymore. you're in this new script. It's just another way, right? And then imagine it and then walk in that knowing that it's done. That's powerful. If you're still struggling to manifest a specific person or anything, do this. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on our videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, The Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. For joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, anywhere in social media at Be Something Wonderful or Tom Kearin, and for being part of our membership channel. We just announced our next live stream. That's November 16th. It's on a Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I'll be back in the studios there on the West Coast for that live stream. And then we're off to Medellin, to Colombia. So guys, we're going to be traveling. So guys, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin coming to you here from the Dutch Caribbean, the beautiful island of Bonaire. Until next time, have a great evening, guys. See you soon.